statue, Liberty started shaking her fist, and the eagle will fly, and it's gonna be here. I brought to you courtesy of the red, white, and blue.
It's time for Veterans Issues, the show that brings you information about veterans, military, and their family. Now here's your host, Ken Rollins.
Welcome to Veterans Issues. Appreciate you tuning in this week. Today we're going to be talking with David Flounders and Stan Gaither. We're going to be talking about homeless veterans and a lot of other stuff. Get you a pen. Be right back. Welcome back to Veterans Issues. I appreciate you tuning in this week, as I do every week, and we are brought to you by the Red, White, and Blue. Today's guests, David Flounders and Stan Gaither, and we're going to talk about homeless veterans and some other things that go along with that, building homes for them and that kind of thing. And welcome to the show, Stan and David.
Thank you, sir.
Good to have you back.
Welcome to be back.
Yeah, good to have you back. Stan, you're with the Ashland Housing Development Authority. Is that what it is?
Well, it's the Ashland Housing Development
I knew I was going to mess it
Corporation.
up.
That's pretty close, though. I'm also with the Ashland Housing Authority, and the Development Corporation is a nonprofit entity that's part of
Okay, that's part of the
Right.
thing. Okay. And how does that work? Is it city funded, or is it?
We're actually federally funded, or as we like to say, federally underfunded. But we are a city-owned entity. Years ago, they formed a nonprofit back in 1987 so that we could do some things to raise some money through a nonprofit and have a way to put money back into
Right.
the community to do things for
Yeah,
our
a lot of counties will do that through their tourism bureau
Right.
and stuff like that. And the way the laws are written, you just have to have something like that. But a lot of it hurts too, because a lot of people don't want to donate to a city,
Right.
anything, or a county or whatever, and they don't realize that that's the way you get things done that you can't do legally.
Right.
I remember when I was trying to bring the Vietnam Memorial down here years ago in 1990, the city of Oxford wanted to do it, but they couldn't do it legally, so they had to go through the Arts Council and get it done that way. But I learned the hard way, you can't do everything through the city.
Right.
And David, you've been on this for a while. First of all, you had, what, 30-something years in the military?
A little over 30, almost 32.
You couldn't make up which one you want to be in, the Army or the Air
Navy.
Force? Navy.
I like both.
Yeah. Which one you like the most?
If you look at most of my posts, it's probably Navy.
Oh man, I just thought you were going to go the other way. But you, when you was on here before, we were talking about tiny homes and that kind of thing down there that you was wanting to build and things, places for veterans. Call it sustainable project. What does that mean to the average Joe out there?
As a sustainable veterans project, what we're looking at is we're going to build, or in fact, we're going to be building the first small footprint home. We went from tiny to small footprint because we got them off of wheels.
Right.
We're not using the wheels anymore. So this coming Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we're going to finish putting up the exterior for the first home, which is an ADA compliant home, American Disabilities Act. And from there, we're going to, you talked about, I'm sorry, going back to sustainability. Sustainability is we have a farm. Part of what we expect veterans who come to live there will be homeless or jobless or both. We have training programs in place to put them out into the community with other partners that we're working with, as well as working on the farm. And I'm working right now to get a commercial kitchen in the long run so that we can produce our own commercial products. And that'll be the part of the sustainability piece as well, is we
that
can
mean,
sell those products from there for the program.
Is that something along the lines of we grow our own, we raise? You know, I got a friend that's got a place over in Georgia, and he's got the Comfort Farms over there. They've got
John
Jackson. They do the raising hogs and stuff, and he crossbreeds them to where they've got the finest pork there is. And he's got vegetables and whatever. And every once in a while he found a snake under his foot, you know. But he's doing a great thing, and the veterans that are participating in that are getting a lot out of it too. They're seeing, I mean, you know, I remember how it was to plant little seeds and to see that little plant come from that seed, and it's a great accomplishment for veterans with PTSD and things like that that's trying to get a hold of their lives. That's along the lines of what y'all do.
Yes, it is. We've got a 20 by 100-foot greenhouse out there where we start our seeds. We've got a couple of acres, different areas where we can plant various vegetables and so forth, and we have about 2 acres in garlic. So,
Yeah, that's what you were doing last time you were on was the garlic farm.
right.
Is there a market for that?
Yes, there is.
A lot of bad breath.
I don't know about bad breath, but it's good eating.
Well, I never. When I used to be a young man, you never went out with a girl that was eating garlic, you know, and vice versa. That was back in the day.
No, I don't know. I don't think that's true anymore.
Well, I don't know. I would debate that. The one thing I did see, you got a fine lake out there,
Yes, we do.
and there's a lot of fish in it.
Yes, we do.
Is that where veterans can come and fish and relax? Is that
That's part of
it?
that's part of it. Yes, it is. We've got a 3.5 acre pond out there. We've stocked it with catfish, brim, and largemouth bass. It was already stocked before we purchased the place in 2015. I've pulled an 11-pounder out of there already. As far as the catfish goes, we had one gentleman walk around and caught 50 largemouth bass in about 3 hours. He was obviously was putting them back, but catch and release.
Wow.
But yes, there's plenty of fish out there.
My fishing, I just don't even catch them, so that's the same thing. If you just release, I just don't tear their mouth
Don't
up.
trouble them.
Well, I'll tell you what, you can come out and feed them, and you get a chance to see them, especially at night. When we feed the catfish,
Yeah.
we've got the lights on. We have the tractor behind us and have the lights on. You can see them, and you get some good sized ones out there. We've got one 40-pounder. We latched into it about a year and a half ago, and it towed us all over the pond on our boat. Wherever it wanted to go, we went.
Yeah,
But I got a video of that. It's
All
on
right,
the
you're
site.
gonna need to do that because I knew some people that used to do the liars contest in Fort Smith, Arkansas,
We do have the video for that.
and some of them caught some fish that weighed. The picture weighed 18 pounds, you know. So I know about some of it. But yeah, I don't doubt that. They're looking at that pond. Stan, you said the federally funded. Do you get any grants out there through that to amount to anything?
Well, not for anything other than, I mentioned that we're part of the Ashland Housing Authority, and we implement the public housing program for the Department of Housing and Urban Development. So we get funded for that through HUD.
Okay.
But other than that program, we have not secured any grant funds, but we're currently in the process of seeking funding
Yeah, I
for
was
some other
wondering
programs.
if you've been seeking them because it seemed like it would be something that somebody wanted to step out the box. And
Well, we're kind of stepping out of the box. We're new in the area of what we're trying to do now, but we saw an opportunity to develop a skills training center, so to speak, was the idea that we had, so that we could take some of our low-income housing occupants that need to learn a skill so they can be an asset to the community and find a job. So that's where it kind of was a good marriage for us to partner with Samson
you
Strength.
don't have a whole lot of homeless in the Ashland area, do you?
We do not, fortunately, but we do have some. And there's actually more than I realized. Of course, there's a broad definition of homeless. We
Yeah.
think of people living under a bridge or on the street as being homeless, but there's also a big segment of the homeless population.
Yeah.
They're living off their friend's couch or, with a relative,
Yeah.
and they really don't have a home of their own.
In their car.
Right.
Wow. There's a lot of matter. I can tell you something about homeless. We started a homeless division in our Alabama Department of Veterans Affairs. And we did a study first to find out if there was a need for it before we did that. But I don't want to get into that too much. We're going to go to a break, come back. We're going to have more with Stan and David. You stay where you are and get a pen. Be right back. Welcome back to Veterans Issues. We're talking with David Flounder and Stan Gaither, and we're talking about the Sustainable Veterans Project down in Ashland, Alabama. And I don't know which one of you want to address that. If I get the control room to pull up some pictures of a collage of a house that's underway, whatever.
That's
Tell me.
us. That's when we were building the floor system with the students that we have from Auburn University. They chose our project. Again, there's some of the students there that are working with us, as well as Alan Rung more students working on the table.
Yeah, what are these students? Are these trying to learn carpentry or what?
Yes, they are. They're part of the Auburn University McWhorter School of Building Science, and this is one of their required classes, is to give back to the community.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that was when they did their presentation to me for the actual building of the small home that we're building and finishing this weekend.
That's the home you're building there that you're standing in?
No,
Oh, that's the shop.
That's his shop. That's where we do our
Yeah.
basic work.
There's
Okay.
the home.
Yep.
I can see that. I could do that.
That's our general contractor. We sit there, we do a lot of work on that board.
Mm.
That's the table again. That's one of the wall systems. That's the gantry we're going to be building stuff through.
All right. All right. Well, that's some fine stuff going on. And you're building in there and putting it out, assembling it outside, and that's
We're assembling the walls.
okay. Now this is the home that you're going to dedicate this weekend, or
We're not dedicating it this weekend. We're going to finish the exterior this weekend. And the Auburn students, this is their final weekend to come in and do this. We had an agreement with them to finish the exterior. They had an agreement with us to finish the exterior. So I want to make sure that happens. So that's
Okay.
what we're working on. Rain or shine, it's going to get done.
so they're going to get to back away and take pictures of their project that they
Yes,
they-
and that's part of what we're looking for. And we're hoping TV24 can come out and do some
Yeah,
coverage on that.
Sure they will. That so when they're up here, they're on their own financially, or do they some fund somewhere that pays them for food? And,
They drive up on their own. We've been supplying them with lunch. I usually make some chili. Kathy makes sure them some hot dogs out there. She's our partner for this. So we usually get them some food. We take care of them, coffee, drinks, whatnot.
okay, that's a great thing. I love to see them using their hands. I always championed the high schools should make every boy learn some carpentry and electrical plumbing skills.
Amen.
Because when you call a plumber nowadays, there's no story where the fellow came out there and he says the plumber was there about 20 minutes and charged him $125. And the guy says, well, I'm a doctor and I didn't make that kind of money. And he said, well, when I was a doctor, I didn't either. So, so he's, there's big money out there. But the other side of it is a young couple just got married and the switch goes out on the wall or the drain stopped up. They don't know what to do. They got to call and spend that big money
Yep.
to
Right.
get somebody to turn a screw on there and the drain trap stopped up or something. But
Or change
I
a
think
switch.
they need to teach it in high school. Y'all help me on that.
Well, they used to teach home ec, and they also used to teach a shop side. But that's back a while.
When this house is finished, do you have somebody already dedicated to live in it?
Yes, we do. Jim has been living out at the farm with us now for almost a year. He came to us New Year's Eve Christmas Eve last year. So we'll finish this up and we'll get him into it. Hopefully by February 1st is my goal.
Well, when Stan was talking about a while ago, we were talking about the homeless, but we did, as I was going to break, I said about the study we did down there, because I didn't believe it that we had that many homeless in Alabama. I didn't think that there was a need for it, because I met a lot of them that are homeless by choice,
Right.
and a lot of people don't want people touching them, and they don't want to be around family anymore. They just,
Right.
they go out, and in Alabama, we're the largest, can you guess where the largest group is concentrated in any part of Alabama, where the biggest concentration is?
Jefferson County.
No, I mean, what kind of a place would they be concentrated?
Oh,
in?
I don't know.
I wouldn't know where to
Wooded
guess.
areas. I found that 78% of the homeless veterans, I'm talking about homeless veterans.
Okay.
Homeless veterans are in wooded areas, that they prefer that as opposed to
I don't blame 'em.
shopping centers and places like that.
Well, that's one reason they decided on the small footprint homes, because everybody likes their own space.
Mhm.
So why not create a small space that
Well-
would have the amenities of home, but not be something that wasn't
You
too
put
big
10
to manage.
You put 10 veterans out there, homeless veterans, you'll find 11 different reasons that
Right.
they're there. There's no cookie cutter type homeless
Mm-hmm.
veteran, I can tell you that.
Right.
But you can put all the things that you have into a family unit that couldn't function as a family unit. You take a guy that's been out there in the field humping hills with a machine gun or whatever, and he's coming back dodging trying to save his life. He comes back and he can't digress enough to get back into the. Because I use a comparison about when you're getting off the interstate, you got a deceleration lane.
Right.
Well, they don't have one when you come down to Afghanistan. You come right out of that into the family, and they're talking about taking the garbage out and cutting the grass and stuff like that. And you're saying, man, I was just dodging bullets while ago, and they can't get back into traffic in like the acceleration lane.
Well, and I think a lot of times what they've seen too is they took these young men and women from a young age and they taught them how to be soldiers.
They're just children.
But then when they get through with that career, whether they choose to leave early or retire out, they don't have a skill that's marketable in the marketplace.
Just filling out a resume, the last thing on a
Right.
resume be paid killer.
Right.
That's the short.
But there's
of
a
it.
lot more to it than
So
that.
we see
I
this.
understand.
They have a
But
hard
they-
time putting it on paper.
Right.
I
We
know.
see this as an opportunity to teach a skill. At the same time, these veterans can build some sweat equity into that home they're going to be living in. While on a small scale, we're able to teach carpentry, electrical,
Right.
plumbing.
That's what I was going
It's
to
a
go to
win-win.
next. Is if you get somebody and put them in a safe place where they feel that they can function without being touched and pushed, and they then become back into the thing, fold,
Right.
and they can function, and they feel like they're worth something, because after a while they get to feeling like I'm not worth anything. You know, I was going to be this, I was going to do this, and when you've been out there putting your life on the line, you felt like you're doing something. Then you come back and you put in a job, and there's no jobs out there flipping burgers and stuff. You
Right.
can't take care of 3 kids and a wife off of that. And
Right.
so you get them out there and teach them something. I just imagine how great it would feel to somebody like Jim you're talking about. I don't know anything about him, but there's a lot of Jims out there that would be looking for something like this. I think it's a great thing you're doing, because a lot of people in the community, they don't know how to accept them either. We're running down long. I don't want to run out without talking about something. We got a little over a minute. What am I missing? I got some things I want to talk about, but
Go ahead and hit it.
no. Well,
We've
made
talked
myself
about this
enough.
before, and we've gone through. The first time we came out,
All
we
right,
went
we
through
got
all
the
this stuff.
message on the website and all that stuff. How people, but you need volunteers.
Yes, we do. In fact, on Thursday, if we can get 2 volunteers out there, we're working on getting 2 more volunteers out there. We're going to be doing some prep work prior to the Friday when the students come up. When the students are up there, we'll have some more volunteers. We're also talking with the Masonic Lodge in Ashland and Lineville. They want to come out and support us with food this weekend. So we're waiting to see how that goes.
Does Wounded Warrior Alabama help you out?
Not with that so far, but they have helped us in the past. We've worked with them in the past. We've
great
talked
group.
with Bill. They're good folks.
They are finest folks I know. They really do things rather than just talk.
Yes.
Well, I really enjoyed having both of you on the show. Stan,
It's been a pleasure.
look at how we did it. You like how we did that? It's good having you, David. And,
Thank you.
All the luck in the world down there what you're doing, because you're doing it's a great project. And for all the veterans that's going to benefit from it, thank you a lot. And I appreciate you doing it.
Thank you for bringing me back.
Will you come back a little later on down the next year and to upgrade us?
I'd like to come back in about 6 months, because by
There you
then we
go.
should be able to tell you some more.
Gonna do that. We got to go to a break. Come back. I got news that you can use. Get that pen. Be right back. Welcome back to Veterans Issues. I do appreciate Stan and David going and updating us on the sustainable housing for veterans down there, and it's going to be an awesome event going on over the years. I want to let you know, a lot of you here saw, he's been on my show several times, Master Sergeant Dan Long with the Marine Corps League, and the Commandant of the Young Marines here in the county. And he was also the Commandant of the Alan Ray Chafin Marine Corps League here for a while. He was a dear friend, and Dan passed away a couple of days ago, and by the time we see the show, he will already had the interment. He's going to be interned down at the this Thursday. You will be able to see that Thursday at Montevallo, the National Cemetery down there at the just south of Birmingham, and that's been a great loss to me and personally, and to the family and the community. And we never know, but Dan Long has been a He was a EMA director for a lot of years. So just about everybody knew Dan, and really sad. It was well, nobody was expecting him to even be sick, much less to die. So y'all keep Dan Long and his family all in prayers. And speaking of that, he was big with Toys for Tots and that kind of thing. So look for that little red wagon, and when you drop something in there this time, do it for Dan. And there's a lot of kids out there that the only Christmas they have now, it used to be Salvation Army and others, and they still do a lot of work, but some of the kids, the only Christmas they have for gifts and things is through Toys for Tots. So it's a great thing. So if you find one of the little red boxes with a little red train on it, go for it and do it in Dan's name. And if you were looking for a gift for this time of the year and wanted to tell you about it every week, and I don't get any compensation for it except the fact that I'm putting you on to something that can help you out and you'll be proud of. And that's if you need a good cleaning of your house, a friend's house, a family member's house, anybody that office or whatever, S&B Cleaning, Sandra and them are friends of mine, and they do outstanding work. The phone number is 256-454-4616, 256-454-4616. And the reason I tell you that is they are reasonable in price, and they don't just dust and wipe and stuff. They just deep cleaning, and you'll be proud you did it. And if you want to get your wife a good Christmas present or a family member, or got an old veteran out there that lives by himself, that's a great idea right there. So keep that in mind. And if you got a power chair out there that you don't need anymore, I got veterans out there that need them to go to their mailboxes and up and down the street, so keep that in mind. And we are brought to you by Superior Hyundai and Classic. Let's see, the Cadillac. They got the Cadillacs on top of the hill, and right down below it is the Hyundai at $500 off if you bring a DD214. If you're a teacher, you get a discount. If you're a first time you've ever bought a car, you get a discount. And if you tell them you saw it on this show, if you tell them you saw it on Veterans Issue, you get another $500 off of it. So I saved you $100. You're welcome. And as I said about Wounded Warriors, address is woundedwarrioralabama@gmail.com, 458-2715. And let me see who I got to salute this week. This week's salute goes out to all those that are helping with Toys for Tots. So we'll see you next week right here on Veterans Issues. Salute.